kind of like all of these players, the last time they played in NASL or NASA, they kind of had a bad season, and they're looking for a return to the kind of like the hype and the stardom that they've had in the past, specifically like Leo Leon. Um, Considered like a top three brawler on release, went 0-9 in NASL last season, and I don't think it was because of him. He kind of got hyped up during those losses still, but this is kind of his chance to show like, hey, I'm still good. And they got upset earlier by Ember's Flame. This is the first time we're seeing Return to Form on stream. They also dropped a game to Eternal Sovereigns, and that caused a lot of questions into like how they're performing today. And PLX is a really good team that's been together for a while. We've seen them around, so I'm really interested to see like how this Return to Form team looks today. And with Moff and Kobe on his signature Kazan, Leo on his Rasmus, they have a good comp, but I've seen Hooks Imi in the past, and I'm really curious to see how he's going to use his abilities and where, like, is he going to be standing in the right spot?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a lot of action here in this game as the skill level has kind of skyrocketed here. You're going to see some really good stuff here from some really solid players, as we have a couple of mixed picks here from Stagger Swagger and Explosive Entrance here. Powerhouse onto Kazan. I mean, kind of unusually, like Moff would definitely be playing Kazan, but it's usually is a Kazan pick on something like a team player start, but making it work with Explosive Entrance, perhaps, honestly, kind of an interesting pick to not touch Stagger Swagger here either way, but looking for, I guess, just a little bit more distance here. But Zay getting it on in there with that passive help right on through, and that's going to be some great play there. And we're going to have PLX taking the first point.
Yeah, and PLX, they have a really good comp. They have Zentaro with Explosive Entrance, a Mako who has an Explosive Entrance, a speed buff, and then a Kai who has Stagger Swagger and isn't going to really be at risk of dying. Hook, though, able to find that really important kill on Zay, and so Return to Form's ability to find those KOs on Zay is going to be pretty huge because they can definitely find them. And Leo and Hook kind of trying to swap Brawler and midfield spots there because Hook had flip up, but not really the most well organized swap in terms of like how Hook walked up there to kind of like, they didn't keep the core up too well. And now Hook really low, healing with Stagger Swagger, but kind of scary, and see how this goes because honestly, they have double flip, so I have no idea.
Yeah, the flip from Leo Leon is going to be stuffed there just a little bit by the opposing team. PLX holding it down here. Zay looking a little bit weak. They can get a kill or do some damage. That would be kind of big here. We can see Leo Leon spending a cooldown whiplash on to Zay, trying to make it happen though, but Mako's got the Explosive Entrance, drum and bass. Gonna make things really tough for Moff and Kui to defend here, and it looks like, yeah, the Mako and snare drum didn't actually do too many favors in that moment here. A flip from Moff and Kui to help onto the big offensive pressure here, and now Leo Leon going to also help that one in there with the flip. Hook resets, nice positioning there with that flip, and they're saying, hey, we're just as good, taking the other point here, keeping it even.
Yeah, and how this first set ends up going is going to be really important. Zentaro can always get perfect form, and perfect form Explosive Entrance will make the game a lot harder for Return to Form to win. And meanwhile, like, you can see either Kazan or Rasmus getting size and just kind of exploding the game and making it really hard for either Mako to hold or Zentaro to score. And here, now, Return to Form getting a barrier, but Leo's low, so he's going to have to hang back for a little bit and heal. Middle spawns, Hook's not super aware of it, ends up taking a ton of health and losing the barrier, but he's able to get both orbs. But on the other end, because he was out of position getting those orbs, there's a really good offensive play for PLX here, and they almost confirmed the barrier, but an insane save from Moffin, able to get it out.
Yeah, Moffin with a great use of cooldowns there survives that pretty direct 2v1, and they grab a barrier of their own. Hook trying to help it on in there once again with that flip, trying to get the ball over to Leo Leon, who is really focusing on killing Zay here. Zay does escape with the Explosive Entrance dashes. Okay, Moffin now keeping that one alive as well, because the Hook's going to take a little bit more offensive positioning here, though. Josh going to dribble to try to get a flip of their own. Hook resets, can't seem to grab the ball. We can see that the red core coming from Kazan is just going to make things hard as well for PLX, not even needing a thing like team player. But Leo Leon looking a little bit weak right now. It would be really great for PLX to grab that kill, but the flip's coming out here from Leo Leon, trying to get a schmix up here with that Death's Touch, but doesn't seem to make it work out, though. And still one barrier held here from Return to Form.
You jinxed it.
I did. I jinxed it. They scored instantly.
Caster Curse happened. Good sequence there from PLX though, able to get the core in, able to get it up when they needed to. Josh lives. Um, it's a really weird game. I don't know how to like. So okay, something that I should mention about PLX. Josh and Zay were playing each other's role last season. Josh was on brawler, Zay was on midfield. They both started like playing like Zay started as a brawler as far as I know, and Josh definitely started as a midfield. So they're kind of back on their like original roles, and how this team does with this little bit of a shakeup is a really interesting story to me. They're able to hold that defense really well. Zay kind of like playing that defensive sequence really well as a brawler, standing right where he needs to and interrupting just the play that Return to Form wanted to go for. Leo almost finds an insane hook right into the net, but Vaga reads it, gives a good strike shot, and it's hard to say what's going to happen, but Return to Form does have a barrier advantage, and their goalie has flip, which is usually a good spot to be.
That is true. A lot of offensive pressure can show up instantly. Moffin popping the center to make it so there's a little bit of less variance here for some of the clears for PLX, though. It does have control. Oh, really great dribble from Josh. There's going to bait out the flip. Okay, Leon almost had that there, but Vaga a little bit aware of what's going on right now, working on a flip of their own. Zay is a little bit weak here, but no kills to be confirmed. The barrage is actually going to make Leon's life a little bit awkward here, but the strike is going to be down for Vaga after that trade, and it's going to be Leon taking that one there with the pendulum swing strike reset. Okay, it's evened up.
Yeah, and great little passing play there from Leo and Hook, and that's the kind of play that I want to see this team able to do. This is a team that people are expecting to, like, that is both expecting for themselves and that other people are expecting to make NASL, or at least have a good shot at doing it. And losing here would be a disappointment for this team. And getting those, like, safe, good passing plays like that are exactly what I want to see them able to do. However, Return to Form has both barriers down, and huge middle spawn there somehow finds the kill on Zay and the kill on Leo. Kind of stalls out the round, Hook's able to get a barrier, but Vaga and Josh almost have flip, and this situation can get really scary fast for Moffin.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Brawlers really get it done, though, as they're going to both die to that center black hole there. Tough spot here. Josh pressing on in there. Didn't have barrage for the situation. Gonna help it through here with Vaga. The sentry here is going to make things hard. Okay, Vaga gonna have to drop the drum and bass to clear that one out here. Leon looking a little bit weak. Blasted away from that energy burst. Up on here for Josh. Gonna try to dribble it there up to Zay, who's got maybe a cooldown or two to help it through. Overtime does come on through. Mop and Kobe is gonna be really happy about that to get the core speed from just the Kazan strike there. Vaga doesn't seem to get the angle that they wanted there from the drum and bass. It actually goes right on in, and Leon takes credit for that one. Going to take the first pick, most likely here. Is Hook resets, in fact, which is just as good for the Return to Form team.
Yeah, and really, like, game of inches there. If Vaga had dropped his secondary like half a second earlier, he would have been able to get the strike out. But now Aimee able to deny the very important perfect form and get it herself, which Aimee turret hits a lot. Pretty good. Santaro gets Spark of Strength. He might be able to scale. Really curious. I feel like Leon should really be going Knife's Edge here. Please go Knife. Okay. He goes Chrono Boost. That's fine. Honestly, like, okay, wait. My fault.
Is it
this
fine?
is a fine draft. Because he wanted to deny the Mako Chrono Boost. And, like, Mako's not going to get as much advantage out of Knife's Edge as, like, any other character in the game, I feel like. It's an acceptable draft.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I was, maybe I tunnel vision a little bit too much on Rampage, just because I think as a goalie, Rampage feels sometimes unbeatable, kind of no matter what's going on, so I thought that maybe we would be seeing a Rampage there, but we're going to make it onto Chrono Boost, which is a solid pick for Rasmus and a solid deny as well, so I will respect the wishes.
A lot of high-level Rasmus players, like my brawler Scyther12 on Bun Bun, he loves Chrono Boost. He will very often go speed over size because he just feels like it lets him get into the spots he needs and find goals with his spin, which he feels like is one of the most important, if not the most important, scoring tools on Rasmus. The spin and the speed you get with it. So I think there's a pretty valid argument, and Hook, using this flip well, gets the barrier, and somehow able to hold this barrier too. Zay, inch away from death. Out. Can he get this flip off, or will he die?
Damn, missed the Missed the hook there, Muffin Kui, on for the kill on Zay, which would have been pretty huge, but they actually end up still keeping the barrier, so maybe a little less huge than I think.
What just happened? Like, that was insane.
I must have missed that one, but Leon going to get really close to that goal there with that flip. Josh looking a little bit low, though. Hook resets, trying to grab it. Grab the ball here, maybe get it in there with one of these cyber swipes. The flip comes out here. Leon looking a little bit weak there. The top spin's going to hold the ball. Muffin Kui tries to get a sneaky flip, but everyone on the planet was aware of that one there, though. Leon does get out of stagger range, and it's going to be open goal onto this situation. We do have Josh with team player, though, is something to keep in mind, as the core is going to be read in unexpected situations now.
I feel like I'm watching a Blink Plonk game. Like, the hook resets may as well be J-Dog, Leon may as well be just Logan, because, oh my god, this is just how every Muffin Kui game ends up going. Overtime, core zooming everywhere, and they're just barely not able to score. Zay about to have flip, though, and that's going to be huge.
It is going to be huge. Vaga going to try to hold this one down as long as they can. The core is just flying at rocket speed. Zay finds the opening here on the bottom side of the goal. Muffin just can't get there in time. We even see a cyber swipe from hook resets to try to defend, but core is just a little bit fast onto flips. Sort of definitely unreactable, actually, in most situations. So really great recognition from Zay. Good use on that flip, and they're going to grab that goal. Nice.
Yeah, and Hook actually almost like blinked out of that to save it, but he barely got hit stun by the flip, couldn't do anything about it. And now return to form, both of their forwards are pretty low. Hook reset specifically has no evade, and insane angle there from Vaga, able to get the barrier. I have no, like, these rounds are so hard to tell what's gonna happen. It's just like who's able to like skill diff the other team more.
Yeah, I actually didn't really recognize from before, but we do see Size end up landing onto Muffin Kui from that draft, but it looks like it might not matter too much, as Zay is getting the advantage in a lot of these situations, finding the low ball like right to the bottom side through Muffin Kui. And it's going to be another point here for PLX. They're looking pretty strong right now. Zay even working on to another flip. Some of these Awakening drafts might really pay off, like this this spark we see. Maybe some of the core speed coming out from this team player is also helping out a lot.
Yeah, and something important to note, like, both of these teams were expected to make landing. Because of the upset that happened to return to form, losing the Ember's Flame earlier in bracket, one of these teams can't make it, and like, I know PLX, every season they really want to make NASL. I know from talking to Hook Resets this past weekend, that and Leon, both of those teams, like, both of those players really want to make NASL. They want to prove that they still have what it takes. This is such like a high stakes game, and really like not how anyone expected the day to end up going. So seeing this be like such a slaughter fest with both teams, both players back and forth just trying to pop off, really cool.
Yeah, they definitely are popping off a lot here, really taking advantage of some of these kills, are trying their hardest to grab any little bit of advantage here, and PLX does need this next set to keep it alive. Leon doesn't have the strike or reaction time or something there to block Josh's shot, and it's going to be PLX grabbing the next set of Awakenings here. Could it be Zay? No, not Zay. No, Sparks maybe going to be landing on that Kai, or on this Taro.
Yeah, and pretty big set win. They're able to get Catalyst or Fight or Flight on Josh. Ends up going Fight or Flight, means Kazan probably ends up denying the Spark, which gives Zentaro Catalyst, and that was a good draft. Props to PLX. Feel like they worked their way through that one correctly. And Aimi gets Timeless, which synergizes with Perfect Form. But you do have to ask yourself, like, maybe it was stacks. I guess he was probably saving some. Okay, yeah, he was making sure that Leo got something. Leo was able to get 1-2 punch. Okay, it makes sense in my brain. Yeah, both teams getting like okay Awakenings, but honestly, PLX getting way better ones now that I'm thinking about it again.
Disconnect. Zay just disconnected.
He did, yeah. So the ruling is to finish out the round. Zay is back now, but we'll see what Return to Form ends up doing, and if Zay ends up moving again. See, the confusion here, like, it is why like the rule exists to finish out the round. Zay is back.
Yeah.
And yeah, unfortunate moment to disconnect. Really like big momentum killer. And there's like bugs that can occur. Like maybe Zay doesn't see his CDs or something. We'll see what happens. Josh ends up dying. Zay is really low. Leo almost has flip. Vaga, huge save, also almost has flip, but Leo Leon strike warning 2 people, somehow getting it through. Pretty good. Good player.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely going to be feeling a little bad here for PLX. They're probably kicking his monitor or something like that to try to get it to work now and stay connected. I don't know why you'd kick it. Never mind. But either way, going to try to get back into this game, though. They actually almost had a chance to keep that point alive, but, man, was not enough. But we do have Vaga here with flip. Maybe it makes help on an offensive play here, though. But Leon approaching with that flip of his own. I'm a little surprised that Vaga didn't flip themselves here to try to avoid a double situation. But I'm going to trust the fact that they have the angles right there. Though Leon dying, but not before getting both of those barriers to really make their advantage for return to form. Keep it up here, though. Mafakui is just kind of huge here. Can easily strike it away. Try to use some cooldowns to keep this one barrier here right until we can get Leon back. Right on down there. He's going to try to make it happen here with this whiplash, though. But Vaga has some cooldowns to keep it alive here. Death's Touch to try to keep the ball in here. A flip almost to the top side, and it's going to be it, though. Going to have just another point here.
Yeah, and so something that I do want to see more from Hook is like him just setting up really good turrets for himself that are like in the corner and stuff the core in. I feel like he's kind of using it on like maybe chances a little too much. Like, oh, maybe the turret kind of barely procs the core and they like mess up and hit it in or something. You can just be like really standard with Aimee and like get guaranteed goals with her turret. Like this one. Really good setup, almost works. I think if the blink, maybe the blink was on cooldown, but if it was like a little earlier to stuff the core in, would have scored. Zay, really low, only has 1 evade, but manages to get both orbs, so ignore me saying that he's really low. Josh, about to get flipped, in the face of Moff and Koei, but good weight there. Moff and Koei doesn't lose the barrier to the Kai Giga. And yeah, game's kind of in a lull state.
Yeah, Mafakui kind of acting like a turret right now with that huge strike range. Doesn't really need to move too much farther from the barrier here as we have another firewall sentry set up, but they get a really great clear right around it there. No use here from this Timeless just yet, but perhaps the perfect form is helping out, but they do eventually get that barrier there from Mafakui. He's going to clear it right on down here. Zay has flip with the passive, gets on in there, but Mafakui with a really great help there of Hook resets is going to keep that one alive, though. Zay approaching here with this core. Josh onto the bottom side gets the team player. Kind of unexpected, though, in that spot here. You keep the ball in here with that strike shot. Not going to send it down to Josh. Maybe a little bit too obvious here. Sets up the turret one more time, but kind of a fat chance to get that one in there. This is a really crazy point as it's still going on right now. Leo, if he can get his hands on the ball here with this flip, Mafakui almost misses it there with the press the point passive, and man, stuff there. Leon is going to finally land that one, and what a point, my goodness.
Yeah, that save that Moff and Koei had on the goal line against Zay, who had like I have no idea how he saved that. That is the difference of Moff and Koei getting like 8 ping on Dallas and 20 ping on Denver. Like that guy, he gets to pop off a lot. Zay Forever about to have flip. Leo Leon really low finds the KO, and that's huge. But they lose a barrier, and Leo's gonna be up soon.
Yeah, Leo definitely going down there, making this a tough spot here. This power play for the PLX team. They couldn't make too much use of that passive, but they do eventually get that barrier here from Mafakui, who has flip. Can make a great defensive play here, or maybe an offensive one with this flip. Okay, his team does grab the barrier, though. Josh is self-dribbling on way through. Muffin feels a little bit of pressure, going to end up flipping, though. Ball's right on back into Josh's hands, though, with flip. Running super fast at the speed of frickin' light, as they have that fight or flight, too, to make it just so difficult. The dribbles are just so powerful from PLX team right now. Hook resets can't even clear the ball past Zay, who is basically 2 strikes away from a flip passive up. Tough to use because you don't want to lose your positioning there. Sometimes Santaro's passive gets a little awkward, though, as you lose positioning. Josh tries to get a cheeky little barrage there, but doesn't seem to work out.
Oh. Yeah, and Leo about to have flip. That's the next big thing to look out for.
Nice. Wow. A really great clear there by Vaga. Not end up losing to that firewall sentry here because of the size from Muffin Koi getting so much presence, but wow. Strike cooldown on maybe 0.01 for Vaga. Cook resets, finds that situation to get in there with that cyber swipe. A little bit extra cooldown from that power or perfect form is helping too, and they do get the MVP once again, and now they can make something happen here with some of these powerful awakenings. They have, okay, now maybe they'll have to deny Egoist or something.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, Ego's just so good. Is it even a deny? But something Hook's been doing really good at this game is finding those like little picks with his blink or whatever, and just getting the barrier unexpectedly or getting the score. He has timeless perfect form, so if he can also like get his turrets a little better and like get more hits off them, you'll see like Return to Form is winning this game, but they can do even better and win it harder. There's also still room for PLX to win though. Like they just got aerials on the Kai. He has a lot more speed now. Vaga has prime time. He could hold a little harder and get stacks a little quicker. It's still winnable for PLX, but I definitely think Return to Form has like a ton of good awakenings on everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned earlier that I was questioning the Explosive Entrance pick onto Muffin Kui over the Stagger Swagger, but now, it's the Explosive Entrance distance has really come into handy a lot of different times, and so I'm going to say that was definitely the right pick with the Dash Awakening here from Muffin Kui, but they do lose both of those barriers there in a tough situation. Okay, Lilian knows he's going to win that Strike War for sure. Zay looking a little bit weak. They're trying to spend a little bit of cooldowns to try to get them out of here, but so evasive here. They're going to use that flip. Okay, so making sure that that does not go into the goal there. Hook resets, spends the flip of their own onto Zay, but can win a strike where they're with an ability. It's going to be the pop-up that makes that one on through there. Josh spending the secondary here to try to hold the entire midfield as Zay is looking at no health, but man, the distance from the Centaur with the Explosive Entrance does actually get them where they need to go, and they get that one in there. PLX, great point.
A clean score by PLX, and I wanted to add on like, so the big thing about Moffin having Explosive and like how I feel like he plays Kazan, he's kind of like a turret with a dash.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to move around and walk, but he's willing to dash places. So that's to me why he went Explosive Entrance over Stagger Swagger, and really good clear there, manages to get Zay's flip out. And the big thing here though is Mako's about to get her stacks up, and they have a goal advantage. Losing both barriers is pretty huge though.
Really, really tough spot there. Josh approaching with that flip too. Has a little bit of extra speed there as well. Secondary up. Mako is also secondary, is helping it through there. Vaga sends it down to the turret, giving Amy a little bit more cooldown reduction. But Leo Leon does a really great strike there, making sure that they win that situation against Josh and Vaga though. Josh opting not to use that flip. Going to save it maybe for a double on this point, and we'll see if that bites them later.
And we saw Erasmus with 1-2 punch end up winning the game for their team in the last series with Twisty, and Leo Leon having 1-2 punch this game kind of helps get that goal because the core just goes so fast, even though he sent it at like a radically different angle than the core was already going, which usually resets the speed. Heads up play from Leo, and unfortunately that turret, Amy turret, not really super used, so she doesn't get a ton of CD out of it, but they still get the barrier. Amy's really low now, which is a really scary spot to be in. And if Zay can either get this kill or make use of the fact that Hook resets is out of the play, that'll be good, but Hook's almost back up to being useful, and we'll see.
Yeah, maybe Perfect Form helping them get a couple more cooldowns as well. Leon making sure of helping to play defense with that flip to finally clear that one out. Zay does have flip once again. They do have the catalyst. They get knocked around a little bit, and they have flip in just a short time, so they're going to try to keep that ball away as for sure. We're going to have to see a defensive turret as well, and a power play here for the side of Return to Form. Unfortunately, Josh is going to be the one to go down there. The Atlas, not the Atlas thing, well, it's Atlas Lab, so I guess the Atlas Black Hole is still up there. The flip goes out, gets a kill and a score. Muffin Kui kind of over committing there to the top side of the goal. Unfortunately, maybe setting up for a different play with that black hole, but wow, Zay with a really great recognition on that flip is going to land that one and get everything they needed.
Yeah, great angle. Muffin just a little too high up. Hook doesn't hit. And thankfully it doesn't double barrier, but in a really weird spot now, and Zay able to get that. This is a huge set, right? Like, blue team can still scale. They have so many good awakenings. Rapid fire is still up for your primetime Mako. And this game is anyone's game.
Yeah, tries to use the turret once again defensively, but does end up getting a kill out of that one. Hook resets, getting some cooldown as well with this Perfect Form once again. No one has Adrenaline Rush, though. Tries to kill Josh with the Death's Touch. Doesn't seem to happen. Vaga getting a little bit active, though, with that stacks of stacks, helping them get some speed, a little bit more presence on the board. The Giga Blast isn't going to make it happen. A flip there for sure. Yeah, Zay has been just too good in these corner situations. Josh nicely playing the strike advantage situation. Leon finally gets the ball here, though. Gonna death touch it back. Josh approaching with that barrage, but nice hook there from Moffin. He's gonna keep that one alive.
Yeah, and I mean, you can really tell both teams really want this win. Aimi's about to have ult up again, I'm pretty sure, and I'm really curious to see if this round lasts long enough, how he's going to end up using it. Mako ult ends up kind of trolling his own Zentaro's flip, and now Vaga dies. Really unfortunate sequence for PLX. Return to form, barely unable to close it, but oh my god, hook reset sets it up with the pass, and Rasmus 1-2 punch spin, kind of good.
Yeah, that was close. They almost dropped it. They almost choked that one away, but no problem. Gonna clean that one up.
Reset Vaga's packs.
Yeah, that's super huge. Vaga, the one player on that team that cannot seem to die, is unfortunately going to find themselves out of here, though. Stax is getting reset is super huge. Hook resets has a flip to try to make it happen. And dude, Matt, I feel like PLX always has flip. One of their players always has flip, especially Zay with that catalyst. It's just going so crazy, but Hook has one of their own. Can make it happen here with the Glitch Pop Cyber Swipe flip combo. All right, so ends up spending it 4 damage, though. Not getting too much other than some damage. If they can finish off some of these kills, then it'll all go to great use, but man, they're already healed up. I mean, almost loses that barrier. Zay does have flip once again. Spends it there to try to get some use out of it, though, but ends up getting killed. Moffin Kui gets that crooked leverage to make it happen, though. The flip spent for just about nothing, unfortunately, but Hook resets in a great spot. The turret comes out. The black hole does as well, but this power play has been average. Average.
Yeah, like we keep like that turret was into the wall. Just like put it into the goal, and they might have scored there. Again, like I feel like Hook's doing really good. Besides that, it's just like the turret, especially when you have timeless perfect form, so important. Leon though, about to get flipped. Same with Josh. However, these two players use their flip is probably going to decide the round.
Agreed. I mean, Josh is just about there. Leo is just about there. A couple more strikes left. You can see it on the screen. Well, on their screen. You can see it on their screen. A couple of strikes left as that was implemented on the new UI. Vaga also just about to have flip here, though, in a tough situation against Leo Leon, though. Could be the end of it as they finally have flip. They're going to approach here with the help of Hook resets onto the bottom side, though. Doesn't do too much other than just give the ball to Moffin Kui as they're going to try to land some damage onto Zay. Here we go. The flip shows up. Who's maybe going to go for a death strike or some sort of mix, but doesn't seem to work out. But they get a kill instead. Leo a little bit weak now. The turret, again, kind of not doing too much. Maybe a little bit of cooldown from the perfect form, though. This 2v3 could happen as Josh does have the ball. If he has barrage, this could be crazy.
And Hook resets had flip there. He had turret, but unfortunately used it from midfield instead of using it closer to the net. And now we're back in this lull state where the course is flying everywhere, and Moffin Kobe's about to have flip. But they're in a 2v3, so it's really scary.
Yeah, I'd say the goalies are doing a really great job of defending as these points are just going so long in the overtime, and the team player is on the board. It just makes things even harder, but again, both goalies doing a great job of defending. The midfielders are in position when they need to be. Zay approaching with nothing, but the flip is going to get him and the heck out of there. Leo tries to follow up with the pendulum swing to get a kill onto Zay. They don't seem to make that one happen, though. The buckle spawns into the hands of Moffin Kui, though. Leo Leon has a chance to get the pendulum swing. Does end up getting it. Vaga, it kind of looked like he casted evade, but I guess maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
And that's it. Oh, shit, that's it.
I think there's like a small window that it takes for evade to like proc, so that may have been it. I don't know. I don't think it's like frame 1. But return to form, closing out the game. That game was really crazy. Like that just felt like I've been playing in a tournament for 6-7 hours and I'm tired type of game where every player is trying their best and sometimes things don't work too well, but return to the form, closed it out. I think they had their weaknesses. There's definitely things for teams that are waiting for them in landing to look at and like kind of take notes of. But yeah, they're one game away from making it to landing, and this battle between the first seed and the third seed is kind of crazy so far.
Yeah, I mean, we could see the redirects here on both of these teams. 367 onto the midfield. Josh with a lot of extra speed here, getting control of that ball. 300s, 2 of them showing up here for return to form, though. A really tough game, though, really tight. I really liked a lot of the plays that were showing up here. Josh was doing such a good job of giving the ball to Zay, who was just building up that flip every single time, but, you know, just trumped a couple of too many times here from Moffin Kui, and Hook resets on the defense is going to be enough to keep that game alive. And man, that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm like so surprised. Like, heck, how did Rasmus get 48,000 damage when the Zentaro got 56,000? Like, kind of
Yeah. Wow.
crazy damage. Rasmus, kind of maybe a damage character this patch. Next game though is gonna be on Night Market. This is PLX's map. Atlas Lab was Return to Form's pick. So I feel like Night Market has always been a map that I see PLX go to a lot. They're one of the teams that can play double brawler. They have, I mean, we saw Josh on Brawler all last season. Zay's playing Brawler this season. Obviously, double Brawler is something they're pretty familiar with and comfortable playing. Curious to see if they end up bringing it out. Moffin played Era a lot towards the end of last season. Could also see Return to Form doing it, but I think it's significantly less likely, and I'd be less scared of theirs. Besides that, though, like I think Night Market is definitely a map where I favor PLX, but Return to Form, they do have like good picks on the map. We'll see how it ends up going, how the draft ends up looking like. We're in it. Hotshot Twin Drive start. Um, I think Hook resets plays Juno, but I don't know if Josh does. On this Hotshot start, that could be something to look at. We'll see what ends up happening and when the first ban gets picked.
Yeah, Juno could go a little crazy here, as you're mentioning. We don't really know how well like trained any of these Junos are because it's not really these main characters. But if one of them was training Juno right now and got a lot of experience, it would be a really solid pick here with that
Yeah,
hot shot.
Hook played a lot of Juno in his last NASL season, but he's been preferring the Kai, and PLX bans Hook's Juno, which good read from them, I feel like, especially if they didn't have another ban that they were really looking at. Meanwhile, Return to Form just banning the Asher, kind of showing that they're good. They feel like they're okay with dealing with X, and they're just worried about the Asher, especially because they then first pick the Aimee, which I feel like that makes sense too. I'm expecting to see that on Hook. They are probably kind of worried about Twin Drive Aimee on Vaga, which he does play, and it is a scary pick on this map. So far, I like how this draft is looking. Obviously, there's been one pick, so kind of early for me to say. But
I love how this is going.
yeah, I mean, PLX now picking Rasmus, which it might be Rasmus goalie, but even then, like I don't feel like that's like the best pick here. It is hot shot start, which seems to be something that goalies prefer Rasmus on because he kind of wallops the core with his primary and it goes super fast. But not really sure. Like I feel like if I am PLX here, I go like X or something because X is really good, and Zay has a really good X.
You could. I
So
like the Estelle pick though here with a hot shot start for sure. I think Estelle
yeah,
really great at taking advantage of hot shot in basically every situation. We also do see Finny though for Moffin Kui right here onto Return to Form. And
yeah,
I've
another
seen them play
really
a
good
lot
night
of
market
Finny.
pick. Yeah, this is the most meta character that Moffin Kobe plays.
Hmm.
He's played it since before it was meta, but yeah. Anyways, his Finny pretty good. I think Finny and Aimee are both really good picks on Night Market. Aimee is generally a little better right now, but it's still a really good pick for them to be able to get in the goalie spot, especially out of like Moffin's character pool. And then Leo Leon going on the Kazan, which we kind of saw him pick up a lot during the last NASL season on Lob City, especially. That season didn't go well for them, but his Kazan looked really good, and it's one of his favorite picks. Really curious to see like how he ends up performing on it. Meanwhile, Vaga locks in a traditional safe melee goalie for himself on the Atlas. I don't think the res is gonna. Okay, honestly, they're against Kazan, Finny, Aimee. The res is gonna be pretty helpful, but
Yeah,
yeah,
ideal.
I think I'm like slightly more of a fan of Red Side because Hotshot Atlas is really scary, but Blue Team also has like picks that they really like playing that are good on the map and they could definitely pop off.
Yeah, I am such a fan of Estelle Erasmus. I feel like they are just so good on every map. It's like perfect synergy comp. It just has like extra offensive pressure. It gets the goalie to use their evades so much more often. They have to use cooldowns against like Estelle's moves, and they have to use something to get the ball away from Rasmus Whiplash. And it's like both of those characters just force cooldowns and evades by themselves. So it's just a really good offensive comp and really easily supported by Atlas, who's just a good defensive goalie here, can help get the ball on back to the team, hold the line, really. So I'd say that in a more traditional way, I really do like red team's picks as well, even though we do see maybe return to form on slightly more comforting picks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's kind of like this game feels like a battle between like picks that players are known for versus like what just is a generally good comp. I do think Rasmus Estelle on Night Market is probably one of the weaker maps for the comp, even if it's generally really good and it's still pretty good on this map. I mean, I'm on Bun Bun Bonanza, we play that all the time. Um, so yeah, I definitely think like I'm giving this game it's PLX's map pick. I feel like they're a little more comfortable. They had some more comps on this map in mind, and I really want to get in game and see what happens. I'm so excited. Both of these teams, like I've been saying it multiple times, just like we're expected to make it to landing, and because of that upset Ember's Flame had, who popped off earlier today, um, their return to form and PLX are in this spot fighting each other when like these teams weren't expecting to play each other until tomorrow, if anything. Um which it's just such a weird spot to be in, especially like 6 hours into the day. Like I don't know, I'm really thankful I haven't had to make it through this qualification process since like season one.
Yeah, definitely a grueling situation to go through during this weekend. It's just a lot of strike, a lot of mental pressure. The mental stack, as they say, just gets a little bit too heavy sometimes. And now we're finally getting in here. The queue has been set. So we'll see what kind of awakenings are showing up for these teams. I feel like we're gonna see a whole lot of hot shot here, maybe a twin drive Kazan for sure.
I think Aimi goes twin drive. I'd be a little surprised if she goes hot shot, but I
Yeah,
could be wrong.
yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I think she's quite good with both. I think as midfield, I would assume a hot shot, but surely twin drive is also just as good. I did get like a minor buff, right?
Yeah, I also feel like Hotshot can feel a little weird on Aimee sometimes because of what it does with the speed of the core. Because like the turret doesn't get faster, but the core does. So like you end up in these weird spots where like it ends up giving them a clear for them. I don't know. I don't think it's like the biggest deal in the world, and it helps in other spots. But little side note, and yeah, we see the awakenings. Everyone on the side of Return to Form going Twin Drive. Meanwhile, everyone on the side of PLX going, well, not everyone, almost everyone going Hot Shot. Actually surprised Vaga ended up going Twin Drive without Orb Ponder in the game, and with Hot Shot already gone. I feel like that feels a little weaker than it would be otherwise to me, but still a pretty good pick, and I'm never going to say no to two expanses.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as we can get maybe a timeless onto this Atlas, it'll be just about unstoppable here. As we're going to see both barriers go down for the side of RTF, though, it's going to be a tough situation for Moff and Kui to hold this one down. We do see Strike Shot onto the Finny. It's been kind of a fan favorite of Finny to take the momentum boots, but perhaps as the nerf has gone down, it won't be showing up here, though, as we do get actually a power play on both sides is going to make this even 2v2. A lot of damage showing up from both sides. Hook resets just about has this flip. Zay has complete control of this ball, though, and got the orb. Is approaching, but often Kui's secondary, the triple take, is actually going to take that goal, help on Zay get that in there, and it's going to be PLX taking that first point.
Yeah, good little find there from Zay, just kind of Moffin not putting the secondary down fast enough or behind him enough. One of those like weird spots with Finny, it's hard sometimes to place that secondary perfectly. But we're seeing like, I mean, I'm really surprised by the amount of damage that Zay ends up taking from this team, but he ends up healing it. Atlas ult kind of strong, now Leo low, and I just have no idea like who I'm expecting to win this early set, but whoever does win it, there's so many like important awakenings on the board, so much size, CDR, really. Who wins this first set, it affects the game a lot, especially depending on what awakenings show up.
Yeah, with a lot of the damage going out, I would say that Estelle and Rasmus are both quite good at confirming kills, even though Kazan is kind of the king of confirming kills. I'd say both of them are going to trump that just for now, as we see that Kazan's health pool is also quite low. Takes a lot of damage here already, Leon, at less than half, getting smacked in the face with the astral projection as well. Gonna get a bottom side here push, but it's gonna be the firewall sentry that stops that one. Josh with the hot shot, gonna make things tough for Hook resets. Not end up spending the flip just yet though. Playing a lot of defense here. Vaga is now going to get that one away. It's gonna be Hook resets with control of this ball here. The piercing shot is going to get the flip used, but Liliana in the right spot at the right time, gonna grab that barrier here. The big finish is not gonna make much happen here though. This power play could be huge for PLX.
Yeah, and I mean, they have double flip on Vaga and Josh. I would really expect PLX to get in a good spot to score here, but they end up wasting the flip. Back in a lull state. Zay is close to flip now, though. Leo misses a very important dash onto Josh, which kind of lets him not die. Otherwise, he would have been way closer to it. And Vaga kind of uses flip because he saw Leo hook and got scared. They barely losing that strike war, Muffin about to have flip, and that's such an important goal. That is like the most, like, if you look at the energy bars, everyone on blue team was about to get flip, and Josh just rose warps it in, kind of crazy. And he also gets like the hotshot CD refund, which is, you don't really get that often on her rose warp, but when you do, it feels really good.
Yeah, great goal, great find there. Zay, again, just about at no health here. Not going to get kill confirmed just yet by Lilian, who's completely on the other side of the board here, though. Almost lands into the hands of Zay, but wow, the big finish. Strong enough to stop that flip. Zay, once again, kind of the target of the kill here. Looking at just about no health. Does spend the flip for basically no avail, and still has no health. Hook resets, though. Has this flip. Leon, 1 or 2 strikes away from making this happen, though. Has it now. Hook resets, keeps control of the ball, but is just about at nothing, man. Lots of damage coming out from both of these teams, and they're making really great use of it, though, as they're going to lose control of the ball just for a moment here. The big finish once again to keep control there. The split finally spent here from somebody. Hook resets, can't seem to get it on through, though. Can Lilian grab this ball and make it happen here? He's all the way back on defense, though.
Yeah, and I mean, as we're kind of like in this lull state, well, Zay gets the barrier, which is huge, but every single game in lower bracket, that barely goes through Hook and Muffin, and huge first set win for PLX, opening them up to a lot of different awakenings. And as I was just about to say, every single game in the lower bracket, except for 2 of the series, has gone to 3 games. Going to 3 games is the rule today. So PLX, starting off strong, could be bringing it to the 3rd game. And they get Knife's Edge, which really, really good on this map, really good here. And that was the right draft. I'm happy that he went Knife's Edge.
Yeah, I think Knife's Edge is going to come in great use here, though, especially when trying to get a little bit more size later. You'll have so much more access to some of that speed that shows up here. Missile prop from Finny, a little extra damage, a little more control. Can actually affect the goalie here now pretty easily from their own side. Leo's going to go for some scaling here. Stagger on Hook resets, fair, as they are. A lot of damage is being exchanged here, though. Stagger Swagger might get more value than we think. Extra special from Josh is completely fine, and Vaga, I mean, Siege Machine is good. It's like small timeless and like missile prop, so
It's pretty good.
It's a solid draft, yeah.
Yeah, I think the missile range, I think it's like arguably better than timeless, because you go strike shot nowadays on Atlas, and that missile range is really good for strike shot and your primary. We'll see how it ends up going. I think there's a debate that Josh didn't have to deny extra special, but I think it's fine too. And really good Thorns barely gets it. I feel like this game feels really weird. PLX is kind of like finding random little goals. I do think if Return to Form like keeps their head on straight, they have Spark Kazan, they have Missile Prop Aimee. There is scaling there, even though they're against like a really scary scaling Atlas. See how it goes. Either team's game still.
Yeah, for sure. We do have both barriers down for PLX, though. We have a chance here to bring this one back here for Return to Form. If they can get this ball on past and through Vaga, they'll have it. Flip on right at Zay, though. Not going to be able to get that one through. Going to use this speed boost in the middle here to affect that board, though. We can see a lot of players standing in that speed gate. Is just going to make things so hard for some of these goalies, as they're going to just be under pressure immediately, though. Really great redirects there. Is almost going to land a goal, but Vaga nicely with that strike shot's going to defend that one away here. Big finish to just get the ball onto the opposing side here. Aimee with the glitch pop to keep possession once again. Leon really weak, though. Going to try to help get on in there. Deals damage to everyone on the opposing team. Actually just making... he's actually just being a menace, but unfortunately they end up taking him out. It's going to be a power play here for PLX. They're going to have to get this barrier, though, in this power play.
Yeah, and Leo trying his best there to just kind of like be the person that finally pushes the core in. I do think it was a little bit greedy. He could have just backed away and like lived, and it did not look like there was any way for him to get the core in. But PLX ends up using the power play well. They get the barrier, but Zay is really low, and unless he scores this, they're in a really scary spot. But that was almost such a good sequence. The turret from Hook resets, barely saving it. Solid turret there, and really good strike timing, getting it through the thorns. And this is just anyone's round. This entire game is just so close. It's a game of inches.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we just saw a revival there from the Celestial Intervention. Nice timing there from Vaga to keep his teammate alive, but man, overtime Kazan. Ball goes a little bit too fast there. Nice position and strike shot there from, or not strike shot, but strike, whatever. Good hit there from Leo Leon to the top side. Good job. It's not a strike shot, but it's, you know, it's kind of is that.
Yeah, pretty much.
It kind of is a strike shot.
I've heard if you get missile prop on Kazan, it increases your range.
I think that could work.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Josh about to get core flip. Zay also, and I mean everyone in this lobby is about to get core flip.
Oh!
Tries to go for the back pass, but it goes horribly, horribly wrong. Muffin barely out of position, hiding in the little Finny hat.
Yeah, that's where you gotta go when these things happen, unfortunately, but gonna keep their heads up for sure, as they are up right now in this series. Strike shot, nicely. They're going to keep that barrier as well, but loses it either way in a different situation. The flip coming out from Josh. Nice shot there. It's going to land that one. Muffin does have a flip to negate some of this offensive pressure here. Up to Vaga now. We'll spend some cooldowns to keep that one away. The hot shot from Estelle. Really scary in a lot of situations. She's going to have red ball before overtime due to some of the Estelle primary buffs. That happened last patch, which is kind of interesting now. It's a little bit more valuable to strike the core here with your primary. Hook resets, looking about just a no health there. Leon gets a really great energy burst. Gonna shake that barrier. There's a approaching here with that knife's edge. Makes things quite tough. Big finish as well is gonna hold the ball, but no goal just yet.
Yeah, and something I'll mention, PLX, they have not played a single series yet that has gone 3 games. Return to form, every single series they played except for one has gone the entire distance, and they played an extra series. So what I'm trying to say is, Return to form might be a little tired. They've played so much Omega Strikers today, and it's so hard to stay consistent. Zay, really clean goal, great hook. Kind of just making it so Muffin has nowhere to go.
Yeah, that hook was placed so well to not hit Muffin, but also to grab the ball. Just great positioning there, and a well-deserved MVP is going to land them. Still no size, but possibly something else that they want. Egoist would be also pretty great. Yeah, I'm not sure what they'll actually want. A little bit more damage here from Muffin is going to... A lot of damage is already being exchanged, so Deadeye might be crazy. Could be aerials, actually, here. A little bit more speed, which is kind of like you were mentioning before for Scyther, as they're going to opt to take a Dashed Awakening over some cooldown here. We're going to get Timeless on Amy, which is always quite good. Vaga opting to take a Spark. Not much left there, though. Josh does get Rapid Fire, so that's going to be primaries left and right. It's going to be tough for Muffin Kui, but Leo Leon does have some extra core speed as well, and as we said, damage is being exchanged, so the 1-2 punch we can see already targeting Zay so much at half health. We're going to use the Celestial Intervention already. They're actually not going to get any barriers just yet, though, but Zay is taking a whole lot of damage. In fact, they found maybe just their win conditions this 1-2 punch Kazan.
Yeah, 1-2 punch Kazan with Deadeye Missile Prop Finny. They are doing so much damage, and I'm pretty sure Spark of Strength is still up. Like, there is so much potential damage for this Return to Form team. If they can win this set, it can get really scary. Of course, PLX has Atlas, which does a lot of healing. He has Siege Machine, which makes it last even longer. He has Spark of Focus, which gives like that little tiny bit of CDR that he might need. It's a good build. And Josh almost finding it past Muffin, but he's able to save it with the flip, and Leo dying, reading his evade, doesn't use it, and great laser from Josh, sneaking it right past Muffin. PLX coming alive, kind of showing off a bit, I guess, to Return to Form.
They might be. They were really close to losing Zay on that point, but we did have the heal from Vaga keeping them alive, and then they end up getting Leon out of there, as we can already see a lot of damage being put onto Josh, but he grabs the barriers just before going down. Again, the Celestial Intervention here from Vaga. It does have a little bit of cooldown reduction from that Spark of Focus, too. And they're going to be able to keep the team alive for now. A flip comes out here right past the Amy Firewall turret, too, and we see them trying to land a kill onto Leon. Zay now finally shattered as well. They can't seem to find a kill just yet, though, until Kazan gets their hands on one of these shattered players. But we see Vaga getting a little bit invested here. Knocks Zay forever away with that flip, though. Man, everyone's a little bit low, getting kind of knocked around here. There's a lot of damage being exchanged. It's only a matter of time before this Finny finds somebody with that misdirection.
Yeah, now everyone's staggered, everyone's fighting for their life. Leon finds the biggest primary of his life, gets a double kill. That was huge. And now, surely they can score, but Vaga's just holding, and I really, like, these turrets could be set up in a way that makes it impossible for Vaga to defend, but unfortunately it doesn't happen. They get the barrier anyway. Leon very low, really close to dying. Barely dodges the core flip from Vaga, which saves him for a little bit, but it's a scary spot to be in if you're Kazan.
Absolutely. Finny's secondary not too reliable when it comes to overtime and fast core speed, though, as it takes so long to come out. You're going to get the flip here from Moffin. He finds the crazy angle right past Zay, but doesn't seem to go in just yet. Vaga with a great defense. The turret comes out on defense, though, to help it get to Leon. A couple of cyber swipes to keep the pressure up here, though. We do see a strike onto Zay forever. The misdirection does land, but the Celestial Intervention is going to keep them alive again. But they might not have enough players for this moment as Zay is approaching here. Big finish once again. Rasmus has the ball, but wow, hook resets, backs up perfectly to make sure that happens, but loses the strike war in the same frame. Moffin, Kui, and Zay. Zay's going to take that one with the pendulum swing, and PLX is trying to even this whole setup.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, the whole series, and they're just 1 point away, and they almost have triple flip, and meanwhile, everyone on return to form barely with any energy. It's such a scary spot to be in if you're PLX. Leon staggered already, and Vaga gets his own orb, denying it from Leon, and it's so... For return to form to win this round and to then win the rest of the set requires them to just outplay PLX at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of effort, though, as they're going to have... Leon does not have a health pool there. He's kind of out of the game for a while as they have this nice 2v2 onto the top side, really like a 2v3. As we're going to have a flip spent there from Vaga. Got a little scared, though, they might lose that barrier, but hey, flips are meant to be used. An angle there from Josh is not going to land that one. Hook resets, reads that one. Zay approaching here with that Death's Touch. Doesn't seem to make that one happen here, though. Rasmus, wow, I love that offensive defense from hook resets to knock Zay around while they're trying to approach onto Moffin Kui, who may have had no cooldowns, though. Zay a little bit weak here. Josh also a little bit weak here. Now it's up to Moffin to maybe land a kill, but wow, they do get it, though. RTF coming alive.
Yeah, and now they just need to confirm the score, which has been their struggle this game. They just can't find these goals. Good sequence there. They're able to get it. Leo gets the goal in, and hey, I mean, if I'm returned to form, I am looking for like any goals I can get to at least make the next game feel a little better, because they got mollywopped this game. Kind of got beat down. And it's still winnable, but it's really hard. And these sequences where they're able... Oh, unfortunate double barrier. Kind of huge.
Yeah, catastrophic sequence here. If you are the side of RTF and you were looking at basically one more point for the end of this whole game here. But they are still keeping themselves around as Zay is approaching here with that Whiplash, though, but doesn't seem to make that one happen. Leon a little bit weak here, knocking Zay around, though, taking a lot of damage. They could find a kill onto Zay and maybe grab this goal. All right, ends up spending the evade down for 4 seconds. Can't do anything except for walk to the side. They do have the knife's edge to give them a little extra speed, though, but now Leon is the one who is actually staggered, but it's going to be RTF that lose one of their players here. Big power play. Moffin Kui can get there in time, absolutely, but Josh tries to hold the ball here. Okay, hook resets, being a little bit more attentive here to where the ball is going, spending the cooldowns defensively once again. Zay is in the mix, but doesn't seem to make it happen, though, and this is a big old point if you're RTF, bro.
Yeah, like, this is so close, but PLX is about to get double flip on their forwards, which is going to be really scary for Moffin. Leon, though, hero score, and we're on match point, set point. If Return to Form wins this set, they have so much scaling they can get. They can still win this game. but you have Moff and Kobe with Flip, staring down 2 forwards, both with Flip. And really curious to see how these teams use their resources this round.
Yeah, it kind of is as what you were saying, that RTF is doing a fine job of dealing damage, but they can't seem to get these barriers at an efficient rate, basically. But they are going to find a kill here, though, and this could be exactly what they're looking for there if they can get the ball past Vaga, maybe even spend a flip here. We are at the end of the set, going to use the Cyber Swipe combo, and it's not actually going to work out, but a lot of damage being exchanged onto PLX, though. They do have Lilian at just about nothing. It goes for the pendulum swing, doesn't seem to make it work out, but we do have an energy burst here to keep the ball away from Zay. Hits the ball, but Muffin Kui does catch it with the big finish, but could have maybe gotten a barrier there with a better angle. But man, there's so much going on in this game. Really great primary from Josh. Oh my god, take over.
Yeah, crazy sequences. That primary from Josh barely finding the barrier really is huge there for this team. Leo trying to whittle down Zay. Zay is so low, and if they can find this kill, it's pretty huge. But and we've seen them unable to score in 2v3s already. Huge evade there, and Josh has flip up, uses it. But everything's happening, everything, everywhere, all at once.
I saw that.
Yeah, me too. Good movie. But Josh barely lives, has no evade, and we'll see. Can Leo score with the open net?
Maybe that Death Touch is really close. Okay, the man really like I said. Oh, in overtime, Finny's secondary is actually just really tough to use. It comes out really slowly, and sometimes does not do the job it's supposed to be doing here. As the flip comes out from hook, resets to make it on in there. Lilian looking a little bit low. Okay, it's gonna be a misdirection here, but not gonna land. But they do find a kill, a power play here that keeps the ball away from Zay, which is actually the perfect play in the hands of Lilian. Actually, the primary from Finny is going to cause Lilian to lose the ball, and Muffin Creek does not end up flipping, and wow, that's a crazy way to lose it.
Yeah, that is a depressing loss. You like crawl your way back, you like stop the tilt, you after like a really hard game where you're not really getting anything, and then the last point goes like that when you lose the 2v3 to the court is going really fast. So that was PLX's map. There are things for Return to Form to like be happy about. The first game looked pretty good from them. That second game, we don't want to remember that game. I feel like Return to Form had so many chances to just like plant their foot on that game and win, but they kind of like struggled in the power plays. And let me be clear, Vaga played well. I think that was out of every game I've seen PLX play today, that felt like Vaga's best game. Which is really cool to see because they're 6 hours into this bracket. It is really difficult. Yeah.
It's a lot to keep track of, especially with hot shots start on only 2 of the players, though. I will say we only saw PLX with the hot shot there onto Zay and Josh, but yeah, it makes things really tough when it comes to overtime, 1-2 punch, also team player, things that make the core really fast, and especially if you're playing for so long. Minor lapse of judgment there. I mean, Moffin could have easily stopped the ball with flip if they had the right judgment call, but unfortunately going to drop that one there. But still in this series, now we're going to a wonderful game 3 on everyone's really favorite and fastest map by a lot. It's Oni Village. I mean, there's really nothing there except for just space and sadness, and there's not. Why don't we talk about Oni Village for a second?
Yeah, both of these teams should be good on this map. It is a little scarier for the side of Return to Form, in my opinion, because Moffin Kobe, you just never see him play those like melee hold it down goalies that everyone knows is good on Oni Village. But Leo has the right character pool for this map. So does Hook. Vaga, like every player in this lobby has like very traditional safe picks on this map, except for Moffin, and how Moffin adjusts to this, which this map was typically a good map when in NASA on Plink Plonk, Moffin's previous team. So he's definitely like figured out a way to make it work. But in this game, we're gonna see like against a potential NASL team, can he make it work when the skill level is this high? And something I really wanted to mention that I thought was really funny. In the last game, both teams had the same KOs, but Return to Form did 90,000 damage, and PLX did 60,000, which,
Oh.
yeah, shows the power of Atlas.
Yeah, I could name maybe 3 or 4 situations that were visibly affected by the Celestial intervention there, either reviving or healing somebody to full. as they were just on the brink of death there, and so Atlas really coming in handy. Great pick for that team. We might even see it again, although I would say that the kills are going to be a slightly less frequent on a map like Oni Village, unless you have some crazy kill confirms. I mean, Kazan and Zentaro can, do it, but
If you've seen Demons Raw on Oni Village, they make it look like a KO map.
yeah, I definitely have. I mean, Gumi Kainub, I mean, they are just only here for damage. Snake is also great at playing with that comp, but this is all about these teams right now. PLX and RTF. We're getting in here with the Knife's Edge, and again, we see Twin Drive going on right now. Perhaps another Amy pick. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Knife's Edge is a really scary thing to see on Oni Village. I would expect everyone in the lobby to go it, except for maybe like an Atlas who goes Twin Drive. Um, I think what Knife's Edge buffs is a character like Kai who has that speed, the dash has his dash ability, which gives him speed and lets him kind of run in there and do things. Knife's Edge just kind of like augments exactly what he wants to do. Also helps Estelle a lot. We see the Kai band actually, as I was talking about that, and then PLX first picks Rasmus, which feels like to me this is like a really good draft for PLX. They kind of got Rasmus on Knife's Edge start. They banned the Kai, which was smart. That does give Kazan Estelle to return to form, and I mean, Leo's Kazan, like we saw last game, can get some really good moments. And he's not going to have to worry about dying as much this game, which is huge. And really curious to see what PLX ends up picking here for 4th and 5th pick. I would expect to see Josh on Lake. What does he end up going to? Maybe like a Now or like a June. I don't think he really plays, Octavia. He's an Octavia player.
I'd be so surprised to see Octavia in this situation. All right, you hit it with the Now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a solid team. Now got a lot of speed there, especially with the Mako too. It's a lot of support for Rasmus. It's kind of just make Rasmus the man in this game, and I
Give
think that's a
Rasmus
really
the
solid.
palm. Let him do
Yeah,
his thing.
I think that's a really solid strat for this map. As Rasmus is just really good at scoring, even alone on the second barrier on this map. So there's something about Whiplash and the Pendulum Swing combination and the hook. I mean, really good at scoring. So solid. I like the fact that they kind of broke up the Estelle Rasmus landing onto one team situation because again, I am an Estelle Rasmus believer for sure when they're on the same team. So I
Yeah,
like both of the comps going on.
yeah, but Moffin actually, he's the one on the Kazan, not Leo Leon. Unless Moffin's playing his Zentaro goalie, which I really doubt. If he is, my fault. He's a psychopath. But
Estelle goalie.
oh well, it could be. Well, that would be on PLX. Oh wait, yeah, I guess that could be on. I mean, yeah, it could be Estelle goalie too. But I would be really
Still goalie
surprised if
right
they don't
now.
have a midfield.
That's fine. Rasmus.
Yeah.
I mean, not Rasmus. Kazan.
Yeah, I played that on Oni Village once. Don't recommend it. Um, so yeah, I'm assuming we're gonna see in a half a second. It should be Kazan goalie. Centauro is less good on this map than Kazan, especially when you don't have like explosive entrance start. And PLX got the memo. They went double Knife's Edge. Hook resets when Magnetized Souls and Twin Drive, and I'm expecting him to lose every single strike war on his side of the map, which is going to be really scary for Return to Form. I think PLX chose the right awakenings.
This will be interesting. This is actually a complete change here, especially with the souls showing up. I am also a souls believer as of recent. Obviously, the buffs and like some of the changes there. I feel like a souls has really changed some of the ways to play on some of the maps here, but we'll see if it comes into handy for hook resets. Try to keep your eye on those magnetized souls. Yeah, we do have Moff and Kui on the Kazan as they normally are. This is such an interesting pick to like be a Kazan goalie main for the most part. Is really changes on like the dynamic on how you pick your team and how you're going to be basically denying Kazan in a lot of situations.
Yeah, because like you deny Kazan from the enemy team, but you also deny him from yourself.
Yeah.
Which, especially when the enemy team already has Rasmus on Oni Village, not a spot I want to be in. Josh, clean, patient, wait, just slots it in. And I'm gonna harp on this. I really think Hook Reset should have went Knife's Edge. The Mag Souls is fine, whatever. But like without Knife's Edge, like just look at how he has to play the sequences on the edge compared to how Josh or Zay does. The amount of movement speed that Knife's Edge gives, because it hasn't been nerfed since it was last in the game, is insane. the overall power of Awakenings has gone down, which means Knife's Edge, which hasn't been touched, is stronger than it was before.
Yeah, for sure. I could agree with that one. And we'll see a lot of Knife's Edge showing up here for the side of PLX, as they are both going to have it there. Okay, nice. Snare Drum is going to stuff that flip completely, though. We do see that Lilian is actually just about at no health there, getting smacked in the face with Strike Shot. Not going to be able to confirm a kill, though. Zay is going to try, but Lilian gets onto the other side, but Death's Touch is going to be the one that takes it. We see a kill and a power play here for PLX, which is big. I mean, they really have to take it. As Leash said before, only one of these teams is going to make it right now.
Yeah, and this is the deciding game. Who makes it to landing and gets a chance at getting into NASL? Both of these teams really want it. And PLX, they looked honestly just like the better team in the last game. And they're off to a really good start in this game. I feel like they have the better Awakenings. I feel like comps at worst are like even. We'll see how it goes. Whoever wins this first set, it's huge. Because when your PLX's comp, they're basically playing to make Rasmus as strong as possible, and the more Awakenings that they can give this Rasmus, who currently highest amount of XP on his team, gonna be MVP if they win the set, it just lets them snowball this game and make it a win instead of like the 35-minute Oni village game that we're expecting.
Oh boy, I am certainly expecting perhaps a 35-minute Oni Village game, but these players are expecting maybe a 15-minute game as they're going to try to make it, so they get a nice 3-0 here. They do end up finding a kill onto Moffin, though, and this is going to be a big situation. Even Leon looking a little bit weak, can't really do much for this defense, but they are going to have hook resets on the goalie right now. The goalie position is going to be occupied, but now spent the flip there. Finally, we have Moffin Curry back, though, but Leon is now looking a little bit weak still. I have to find a situation to reset some of this stagger bar, but man, Vaga kind of just lets the ball go past him there. Again, maybe a 6-hour playing the game situation going on right now.
You can tell both teams are tired. I feel like they're making mistakes and nervous. I mean, I would be at least. It's hard. 7 hours of Omega Strikers, especially when you return to form, who like I said earlier, every single series they've been in except for one has gone game 3, and they've played an extra series over PLX. Kind of crazy. I can't imagine playing this much Omega Strikers in one day.
Yeah, it's a lot. I can't believe they've been playing on Oni Village for 6 hours. But it actually does make sense completely, as we know what Oni Village do be doing. Josh.
6 hours straight of Oni Village.
That's really what's been going on, to be honest. Josh can't seem to get control of the ball, though, but man, in overtime, things do get a little crazy, and it's just going to go past with a nice strike from Leon. Going to land their first point here. We can see that knife's edge. Fantastic. All right, trying to make this one by RTF scoring points. We are going to have a 35-minute game.
Yeah, that is a very important goal for return to form. I feel like if you lose the first set 3-0 after how last game went, it starts feeling really bad. Zay has flipped in the front of their net and barely misses it. Insane save there from Hook. And this round, if Return to Form ends up winning it, like that is insane. Really a game of inches.
Yeah, I mean, they could make it happen here. Leon trying to get on in there with a couple of cooldowns, though, but does end up spending the passive. Not going to have that one. Josh, extra fast from that drum and bass from Vaga there, is going to have a lot of control onto this top side, especially with that knife's edge. Hook reset's going to try to get it on through there, but can't seem to make it work. But, oh, that would have been a really, impossible, but a really tough save from that top spin Moffin Furry put on there. And it's going to be PLX taking the first one, and I'm not really sure if we had any bets going on, but I wonder what the chat, whose favorite the chat would be to win this one.
Oh, big fish for Rasmus. And this is exactly what you wanted to show up if you're blue team, because literally all they want to do is get the quarter Rasmus and win the game. I think Hook Resets goes team player here. My fault. I know he's like a big team player fan, so I thought he would. I think Josh going team player is really interesting because like it just like the way that PLX just drafted with Chrono Boost on Mako also just points to how they want to play the game. Give Zay forever the core, give him the laser, and he will shoot it and score.
Absolutely. I mean, these are all buffs for giving the ball to Zay, making things just really difficult for Moffin Koei, as the team player can be used frontwards and backwards. in a lot of different situations. Extra core speed is going to help a lot. Zay already looking a little bit big, a little bit offensive right now, but Muffin Kui does end up holding down that one barrier. But for how long, as Zay is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger throughout this game. Hook resets, trying to make use of these mag souls, but they're really going to have to stick into the center of this stage if they really want to make use. If like we can really see that hook resets is staying onto one of these sides, then well, perhaps Slick Kicks would have been a better choice.
Yeah, Magnetized Souls helps you on offense, I feel like, on Oni Village, but when you're making defensive plays, you end up like playing double, like you end up playing on the other barrier or in the corner a lot, and to me it feels really hard to get value when you're having to play defense, which is why like I ended up not going Mag Souls after a while of going Mag Souls early on in release. Obviously it's been buffed, so I think it's a little better now, but especially like I don't know, I feel like if he had Knife's Edge, then he would have had the speed he needs in those situations, but he didn't, and in this kind of a spot he's in right now, you can see he has to blink really aggressively to try and make something happen, because he just can't rely on being faster than the enemy. They're faster than him.
Yeah, true. Now they have overtime setting in here. Josh might be able to make something happen here with this team player on over to Zay. Gonna make things awkward here for Muffin Kui in this defensive position, but hey, I mean that's Kazan in overtime always has red ball with the pauldrons, giving a little bit of extra power here. Josh approaching here with a flip. Zay does have a flip, but nice stuff there with the pop up. Muffin Kui defends that one. Vaga misses the strike shot. We're gonna defend that one away with the flip. Beats the Zentaro passive as well. On over to Josh once again. Hook resets just about at no health. That flip was basically had no chance of scoring, but either way, we're going to have a power play for PLX once again. And Muffin Kui, can you hold? Oh, that's a terrible way to lose the barrier.
And barely misses the strike because of Kazan's weird strike box. And Zay found a huge kill on Hook with like the edge of his primary that I really don't think he should have found, but finding that is huge and kind of could have won them the round. But Leo, really good offensive play here, almost scores. He's staggered though, and Zay has the core. He's huge. Mako almost has secondary up. Really curious to see who ends up winning this round.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I really like the pick here from Muffin Kui to grab the Unstoppable. Really great against Erasmus in basically every single situation. Oh man, Hook resets with that really great piercing shot. Finds it. Gets it on in there. RTF with a sign of life. Trying to keep this one alive and make sure that this game lasts at least 40 minutes.
Yeah. Oni Village, I definitely, like, I feel bad for the teams waiting for the next series. Rose Petals, every single series they've had today has been 3 games. They're just, like, waiting in the wings, wanting to go to bed. Yeah, definitely crazy, but anyways, back on this game, all the PLX about to get their flips. A pretty solid spot to be in if you're PLX, as long as they get the core out here.
Might be able to get that one out there. Vaga was looking a little bit low just for a moment. Liliana also not overcommitting too much to some of the damage that's being shown up for PLX. Vaga getting a little bit offensive there, passing midfield to help that one through, and it works out. They grab the barrier. Liliana again looking quite weak. Zay working on a flip. Josh has one. Vaga as well, and this is going to be a huge push there, but the pop-up once again. Muffin Kui is just locked into the matrix right now. Zay does not. Zay does. Zay does have it. I stink. My bad.
Yeah, he kind of did like the mix-up dribble where he just hit the core straight up a bunch, and then like Hook panicked and like used flip and everything, and then Muffin was like, "Oh shoot, I have to go where my midfielder is no longer covering," and so Zay just slots it in right above Muffin, and good goal, good heads-up play. I feel like you can really tell like how long the stay has been for both teams and how they're just kind of like throwing things at the wall and hoping it works. The PLX looking like, I'm saying that, but I also feel like this is like some of the best PLX has played all day, at least from what I've seen. They're just like actually playing off of each other. Vaga isn't like letting in a bunch of like any super random goals. That one was kind of random, but it was hard because of where Leo was, and Estelle is like always there waiting, ready to snipe it in.
Yeah, it would have been like 27 head for Josh to hit the evade there and then just keep it alive, but really tough situation because you can't move and evade at the same time, so Either way, got a good point there from hook resets. If they can find a couple more of those piercing shots in really high pressure situations on the overtime, they can probably keep themselves alive. Oh yeah, that's some crazy unbeatable stuff there. When Zentaro stops the ball and the teammate helps it through the passive, it's like, yo, that's some good stuff. But again, like you were saying before, PLX playing quite well. I think they are indeed playing quite well, and I think their comp is also just very cohesive on what they're trying to do. It's just the strategy is already coming together, even with some of the awakenings that have already been picked.
Yeah, and it's neat to see. I also think like there's definitely some sus moments from Return to Form, but we're also seeing like what made this team so hyped up. The like really long holds from Moffin that like feel like the core has to go in here, but somehow he saves it. And then like Leo with these like really creative ways to end up finding a goal, and Hook just kind of always standing there ready to like find a little snipe and get the core in. Really cool game. Now barriers down for Return to Form, and PLX Zay almost has flip. Vaga has flip. They're really close to finding the goal here.
Yeah, I also want to give it to Vaga for a lot of really great defensive Come on, Vaga. I was just giving it to you. Really great situations here, winning like really close quarter strike wars with Leo Leon to keep the barriers alive, and unfortunately perhaps out of cooldowns finally. It's going to go in there. Leo Leon helping his team grab that set here. And that's going to be big. Who's going to be the MVP? We're going to have Moffin grab their awakening. Maybe steal some size from Rasmus or something.
Yeah, well, we see Perfect Form and Rapid Fire up. I feel like if I know Moffin Koei, he ends up going Rapid Fire. Prime Time is still available, so he can scale into that later. Rasmus getting Perfect Form isn't as scary as like Zentaro, but still pretty good, especially if you win, like, especially when you're bigger and faster and you can like land a spin on multiple people. Meanwhile, double deny of Spark from Zentaro, he ends up just getting explosive entrance anyway.
Yeah.
Debatable.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting. I would say letting him have Spark of either of them, really. I think either of those Sparks is like slightly lower value than some sort of crazy midfield all over the world presence with explosive entrance. But again, here I'm not on a 7-hour Oni Village game, so perhaps my judgment is a little bit more advanced here.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like PLX has had some good drafts. That was not one of my favorite ones that I've seen them have. Especially on Oni Village in particular, when Zentaro gets the Dash Awakening, it just helps him so much. He can do more of what Rasmus and Kazan do and like walk back and help his team. He can also just like set up like really good goals, stuffs from far away, which helps against Mako quite a bit because you can just stop her secondary and force it through. We'll see what ends up happening. Vaga getting low, has flip. Kind of greeting here, not going to use the evade, and because of that, he might die. The Josh just ult barely missing. That was huge. Leo Leon's primary like kicked him out of the way, and because the now ult only works in an AoE around where you land, like it, yeah, good play from Leo Leon. Unfortunate mistake by Josh.
Yeah, I really do like the decision to go for the goalie there when the opportunity did arise. But we do have team player Josh showing up here helping to get the ball to Zay. Vaga's going to have to defend by themselves. They do get a energy burst kill onto Leo Leon there. This great 2v3 power play. Zay getting in there but can't seem to make it happen. The drum and bass shows up here. Hook resets trying to play a little bit of defense but actually in the right spot there. Okay, good passing play here, trying to not make the ball too fast to lose control. Moffin Koei a little bit all over the spot here. Oni's blade to try to get it on through there. The lines are being made. You could see it. And the piercing shot does get it in there. Mako, not enough control over the map here, even with strike shot. And they do run them out of cooldowns and take it.
Yeah, and just good laser from Hook. Good, like, awareness. This is definitely an Oni Village game. The core is just flying everywhere. And I feel like, I mean, you can see, like, in these sequences, like, up there, how much value Leo is getting with the Knife's Edge. I really wonder how different this game would be looking right now if Hook had it. I feel like, I don't know, they would just have that little bit extra. But they're finding that little bit extra right now. Barriers down on the side of PLX, and I didn't even notice, but, like...
Moffin. Sorry, Moffin was, like, disconnecting or something.
True. Yeah, he actually gets packet loss now. Sometimes his ping randomly spikes to, like, 100 or something. But,
Okay, word. Yeah, sorry, I freaked out for a second there.
Yeah, so valid. I would too. But yeah, hook resets has flip. Josh close to flip. However, these two players use it is probably going to decide the round.
Agreed. As they do have the goal open here, though. Hook resets can use this flip defensively, but Josh is making offensive plays here with this last, I guess, like 74 energy or something. Yeah, one strike away. Leon wins a strike war there. Vaga gonna have to spend some cooldowns to keep it alive there. Uses the piercing shot. The flip comes out here. The defensive flip. That's, again, defensive situation. Josh spending it. Zay forever trying to get into the game. Maybe tries to play a little bit here. The teammates, man, just give the ball to Zay, right? That's the whole point of this team, but they're having a tough time. Zay is building up flip, but the drum and bass does end up getting an angle on it, does save it, but then Leon comes in with that explosive entrance. Shoot, how did he say to pronounce Irish? Irish.
I don't remember.
Where are you? Where are you, Saya?
Real. But I think it's Brickbat actually. But anyways.
Was it Brickbat? Irish. Ah, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, great round from PLX, scoring in 15 seconds, kind of exactly what you want to see. However, PLX has no meter, and Return to Form is about to have two flips on their forwards. I mention flips a lot because they really do matter. How their two forwards use these flips could determine the entire set.
No, you're 100% right. Mentioning flip is definitely super important. As a goalie, and playing on Only Village, I feel like the only... I hate Only Village for a couple of different reasons. One of the reasons is the way you get scored on through your second barrier. Like, the way the second barrier is taken, and it's usually due to either really crazy combos or because of a flip is cement right into your face. And that's the easiest way to get the barrier. And that's kind of what you have to be kind of focusing on, is either like a really fat combo or a really good flip right in there. And we're going to see a really good flip there from hook resets to grab a power play here for the side of RTF. Leon going to try to help it on through there. Maffinkoi stepping up and getting on in there. But man, great defense again from Vaga and Josh. Say Forever comes back with full cooldowns though, and see if they can make it happen. Josh approaching here with the flip. Can they get close enough to make it happen?
Yeah, and they don't get the barrier. That's huge. That gives so much more time for Return to Form to live. If they can just reset, like, basically the get to neutral state, and they don't even have to, they just end up pushing it right in. Leon, good core stop, and it goes zoom. I think, like, you see the knife's edge get proc there, which makes the core go even faster. Really insane. And now Estella's first pick. This is really interesting. If he denies Monu, I will be really upset. Please do not deny Monu. Anything but that. Okay,
no
good.
way.
Cozy Ghost. Yeah, that is correct. I started panicking. I do think it's questionable for not now to even go Monu here. Like, I feel like Fight or Flight or Kata is just more value, but
I agree. I actually agree. I agree.
Yeah, he doesn't even have, like, Chrono Boost or something to, like that makes a good excuse for Monu, because it becomes easier to hit your teammates, and now Joss is standing still. Hopefully nothing wrong on his end. But anyways, Leon able to get one barrier really quick, unable to get the second one, really close though, and this is exactly how you want the round to start if you return to form. But now, on the rebound, PLX getting a good barrier and in a good spot to get the second.
Yeah, we see that unstoppable coming in there from Maffinkoi. Make sure they can hold the line there. Vaga greeds the drum and bass there and actually loses the second barrier in return. Worst case scenario there, of course. And I wanted to say that PLX was looking quite good at the start of this game, but now it seems that Return to Form is truly returning to form as they are coming alive on this second part of this game, as we are 3 sets in right now. Onto the fourth one. Josh building up a flip right here. Hook has one of their own. Doesn't seem to get on in there with that big defense though. Going to let that barrier go down. Now it's up to Maffinkoi to hold the line here. Flip onto Hook, or onto Leon, but doesn't seem to get it there. Vaga with a great defense, but it's going to be the Crystal Thorns that helps it on through with Leon. And man, great combination there. And ooh, Return to Form is looking kind of unstoppable right now. What's the change?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like it's just getting to overtime more, and Return to Form looks a lot better there, especially now that Estella's hotshot. We saw, actually, like, the hotshot Thorns there, kind of, like, getting that goal. And I just think the explosive entrance on Leon really feels like the biggest thing. The double deny of Sparks did not pay off, I feel like, and it just kind of shows that Explosive Entrance Centauro is really good. Also, Return to Form just isn't losing to the random little small things they were earlier. Moffin is looking a lot more like he did at the beginning of this series. And yeah, they're just playing better, winning more.
Yeah, you're probably just right. I do agree again with that Spark deny. A little bit crazy here to drop a Spark onto even like Vaga, like on Mako. You would have been pretty happy denying that Explosive Entrance. They're getting some value out of it as well, but it's not the route that they seem to have went here, though. So they're going to have both barriers down once again, really just clawing for life here as they're going to try to make one final push here onto Mafiko, who's going to spin that flip. Strike shot does not miss. Really great shot there from Vaga. Now they have a great offensive push, almost having both flip here. Going to end up defending against Leo Leon. It's a really tough situation. They defend one more time, but opens the mid spot, and that's where the ball is going to go, and it's going to be RTF with one more point, match point for this one, and they would be the ones moving on.
Yeah, and Return to Form trying to make their name, like trying to reclaim their previous prominence in NASL, and this could be the moment they do it, sending PLX back into NASA for like the third season in a row. But PLX, they're not going down, like, they're still fighting. They get both barriers really quickly. Vaga uses flip, which kind of unfortunate there, but they're still in an advantage state. Kazan has no barriers up, and they're just kind of trying to jam the core in. Hook, about to die, manages to live. The core goes in, but Leo Leon still has flip, and no one on the side of PLX is close to flip. So PLX needed that round, but they're not out of it yet. It's still really scary.
Yeah, Leo's build is also quite scary as well. Lots of mobility, lots of movement. Even the Spark, just in case the final Spark does show up, the glasses can actually be devastating as well. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens when, you know, characters like Zentaro just like benefit so much from a lot of different awakenings there. It's really hard to deny, and sometimes you just get a little bit offset here, though. RTF is really making the last point of this match show up here, though, as they're approaching here. It's going to be a flip from Vaga. They could have lost that really tough 50-50 there in a lot of situations. Vaga, make it! He had strike shot up maybe at the last couple of seconds, but man, it's going to be RTF taking it, moving on to landing, and that's... Whoa, that's a... I really thought that PLX was kicking it up at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, they look so strong in game 2, so strong at the beginning of game 3, but Return to Form, I mean, the joke makes itself, they returned to form and pulled the game through. And now, this is like, it's just so unfortunate for PLX because they really were expecting to at least make it back to landing. Last season, they were basically like one set away from making it to NASL, if I remember correctly, and falling short way earlier here to the team of... Actually, I'm pretty sure they were in landing last season. They lost to Lob City as a final decisive series, the team that Leo Leon was on, and he's gatekeeping them again. And he popped off that game. He got explosive entrance and did what he had to do. Moffin Kobe, though, 292 redirects. The second highest in the game after Josh, 107 saves. Insane performance. Really, like, just great all-around play from everyone on Return to Form. Hook found a lot of really important goals that he needed to find or they would have lost that game, and excited to see them in landing tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Hook resets really did show up there with some of those piercing shot situations there. We even saw a couple from Crystal Thorns too, making great use of that hot shot and some of those abilities there. We could also see Leo Leon only at 157 redirects, but each of them was so valuable as they come with basically the EI rush. I actually don't even want to say this move anymore, but that great Zentaro secondary and the primary are, yeah, all together just like making a lot of tough situations there when attacking the goal. So it's going to be RTF moving on, and unfortunately, PLX in another tough spot there.
And coming up, Pass versus Rose Petals. To both of these teams, Rose Petals, a continuation of LLC, both of these teams got top 3 in NASA, or I think Pass was top 4. Top 4, whatever, in NASA last season. I think they were all tied for first at the end of the regular season. Really excited to see which of those two teams make it. And rounds out the landing teams that'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Then there's that set coming up, like you just said, Pass against. Sorry, who is it?
Rose Petals.
Rose Petals, yes, of course. Pass against Rose Petals will be coming up in just a little bit, though. We're most likely going to be hitting a break here, so do not go anywhere. Those players are going to be loading up once again, and you'll be seeing Fudgy Waffles and Yoshi showing up for that commentary. And I will see you guys next time. It was a pleasure, Liari.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the next series. I'll be watching it myself for sure.
Oh, yeah.